I read that book, Quantum, what was it called? Quantum Mechanics as the building blocks of the universe or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The Cosmic Code, I think it was called. It was pretty strange. The smaller you get, the harder it is to figure out what direction time is moving. And weird things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're so big, we're so small compared to space that we can't tell, like, how big space can be. It's confusing. I can't really explain it, but it's, look at this fella spinning right out of the gate. I saw that. All kinds of funny stuff. But according to quantum physics,
One thing I never really got is the whole intelligent creator thing.
I don't know.
No offense, but
No defense either.
yeah, I know. But it just like if a super intelligent being created us,
There's
then
no way he's smart enough.
No, but how?
I'm just joking. You said that
Well,
before.
I mean, it means he's stupid.
It was fun. He's too stupid to figure that out.
But what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's what was I gonna say?
I don't
Shit.
know.
Yeah, it doesn't explain anything. That just raises more questions.
Well,
Why even bring that up?
the further quantum physicists get into their work, the more it feels like God is playing like a really hard game that they can't. He keeps cheating because things keep going wrong to make experiments not work. Quantum physicists believe in God more than anyone else because so many strange things happen.
Yeah.
That are really weird. Spooky action at a distance. Sad, they call it.
Because if something, well, but like, there's no proof that like quantum physics quirks are flaws.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be intentional.
It's
just don't understand.
It's not a quirk. It's a quark. At that,
what?
A quark. At
a
that,
quark.
At that size.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's like there's a few different. I think I talked about this. The same exact thing. It's talking about how there's a few different theories that scientists have about what's going to happen when they discover the smallest particle.
Oh yeah.
And one of them is that it'll be impossible to split it because it's the smallest particle. Because they keep finding that particles keep splitting, and they have to come up with new names for things all the time. But either it's not going to split, and they're going to only know it's the smallest by virtue of the fact that they don't have the technology to split it yet.
Yeah.
Or they're going to split it, and it's going to make the same thing as itself. When they split it.
Yeah, yeah.
The same mass and the same size and properties.
Uh-huh.
So they've gotten to the point where they can create matter. It's one of those, and there's some other theory about how it'll happen too, but...
Or they would think that happens.
Yeah, I know, because you don't know, you may have the technology to not understand what you did.
Yeah. It could be that they split this thing, it creates itself, or so they think, and the technology to discover the truth is never, like, created. Never in history.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe humans are just incapable of figuring it out. I worry sometimes about what humans are incapable of understanding. Mm-hmm. Like, I read about the space shuttle and why that was scrapped. And it was like, when the space shuttle came down back to Earth, and they needed to refit it so it could fly again, the amount of paperwork they needed to do was like taller than the spacecraft. They say, and this wasn't a joke. They were saying it was so complex at NASA. They were saying that the people working at NASA were working 7 days a week, like 20 hours a day to get it flying, and it was just too difficult. Like, they were thinking that like they were at the limit of human understanding with this thing. Like, they couldn't get it to work any easier. There was nothing they could do.
Yeah.
And then by the time the ideas for Venture Star came around, the single stage to orbit shuttle, they shut the whole thing down. They said it was too complex and they couldn't figure it out. I think NASA was too stupid.
Yeah.
They just they couldn't figure it out anymore. Whatever, this whole Venture Star thing, we're not going to fund it because we can't figure out how to make it work. It should work. Like, the worst thing is that these things, on paper, according to physics, that they have to work.
Yeah.
But the design principles just aren't there yet.
Yeah.
So they can't do anything, and nothing will ever work. Everything sucks. Everything takes too much paperwork. It's funny if you go on Wikipedia, like
Ah, shit.
there's this article about the space shuttle, and they're talking about how the space shuttle in concept art was pitched to the U.S. Congress, and they showed the shuttle in a hangar bay with other planes there, and they were just like wiping it down with a cloth.
Oh.
And there's the concept art, just in something. Oh, look, it's down for repairs. Oh, a lot of trick Congress into thinking it's just a plane like any other plane.
Yeah.
And then in the same Wikipedia article, they show what it actually looked like.
Yeah.
The refit for the space shuttle, and you couldn't even see the space shuttle. Mm-hmm. The space shuttle was a tiny thing inside a massive complex of pipes and metal scaffolding and shit. Like, the space shuttle was barely visible amongst all the machinery.
Yeah.
It was so complex to refit it for another flight. It's not like a normal plane. Like, and the public, during the golden era of the space shuttle program, the public was kind of successfully tricked into thinking it was a plane, because people kept applying for trips on it.
Oh, yeah.
Public citizens.
Oh, yeah.
And NASA was taking people up, citizens, for a while.
Uh-huh.
Until Challenger happened. And then they were like, this is not a plane. And then they had to really rethink about taking people up there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of passengers went up during the golden era of the space shuttle.
Oh, yeah.
When they were thinking they could do no wrong. And look at this amazing thing. It's just a plane, guys. Look. One guy went up there, some Arab, like, billionaire, some oil billionaire guy, went up on the space shuttle before, and he wanted to celebrate, like, Ramadan by, like, having the shuttle face the sun or something.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, no. You shot that down. We're not getting that on video. And he didn't get to do it. But
Oh.
it's funny. And there was another guy. That was a long time ago, though.
Yeah.
There was another guy who was really, really interested in how the escape hatch worked. And he kept asking about it. Mm-hmm. And then eventually the commander of that mission had to put someone on, like, full-time watch to make sure he didn't play with it. Because the hatch was designed to be opened in an emergency, and it opens with one swing of a hatch.
Oh,
and
yeah.
will vent the entire cabin.
Oh, shit.
Out into space. And he kept asking about it. It was like... And then there was another time where a guy got suicidal, and he was on suicide watch for the entire mission.
Whoa.
Yeah. Pretty spook. It's pretty spook for me there.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Yeah. Looks all fun and stuff, like, in the spacesuit. Like, we got a guy in a spacesuit on our $5 bills in this country, beside the Canadarm.
Oh, yeah.
Mysteriously leave the shuttle out of the shot, which necessitates the Canadarm the space shuttle warrants the Canadarm. The Canadarm necessitates that there's a shuttle holding it, but the shuttle's not on it. But
how do we steer in this game?
Undoubtedly, that man in that spacesuit on that $5 bill is he's got a condom thing stuck up his penis, so in case he needs to pee, and he's in a diaper, and he's got some strange kind of coolant suit on, and all of his fingers feel like they're gonna explode.
Yeah.
And it feels like he's gonna puke at any minute. In some old ass suit that's only good for 8 uses.
Ah, shit. Oh my god.
Hey, yeah, you having a good time?
Yeah.
You doing a good job? You doing a good job? Uh, One time on the space shuttle, someone took a sausage up for dinner, and they went to the bathroom in like the space shuttle cabin area, and they like acted like they were pooping,
Mhm.
and then they let the sausage fly out into like just 0 G floating around,
Oh yeah.
and then he put on some latex gloves and tried to go fly after it and told everyone to get out of the way, and everyone was scared to death, trying to run away from the poop, and then he took a bite out of it.
Oh yeah.
And it was a sausage.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
They wouldn't let people get away with that anymore.
Sneaking a sausage.
Maybe if they,
They wouldn't let
charged a
people.
lot.
They wouldn't let people get. Yeah, that was an astronaut who did that though.
Mhm.
That thing. So he was like, but you're right. They wouldn't let anyone do it anymore though because there's no more space shuttle.
Yeah.
So yeah, NASA hasn't had a person in space since like on one of their vehicles since like 2011,
Yeah.
and there hasn't been a new vehicle since like. Well, there was Orion, but no one's flown in it yet. They have the Orion capsule that they tested like a few years ago. That's it. The last new vehicle was actually the space shuttle, and that was like 1981. The space shuttle, the first launch, STS-1, Columbia, when that launched in 1981, like it was the first thing NASA launched that had no abort mode. There was no way to abort the shuttle
Oh,
if
yeah.
it didn't work because just the design of it. You couldn't just come off on a parachute. It just wouldn't work. It all had to be a hard body shell for the shuttle. And so when John Young and Bob Crippen flew that thing, everyone thought they were going to die. Like, no one at NASA thought it was going to work. Everyone was sure the shuttle was going to blow up because they had only tested it previously in a computer model. And the computer model was saying it was going to fly. And no one believed it. And the computers are just like, yes, it'll work. And then they just flew it and it worked somehow. And they couldn't believe the audacity of that shit. And then they flew it back down in re-entry. Crazy.
Yeah.
It's almost funny how stupid it is.
Mhm.
It's
You know that Mobius strip fusion reactor thing?
yeah, that the hydrogen fusion reactor.
Yeah. That's it's pretty neat. I can't wait until most things look like that.
Yeah, that's the type of thing. It's interesting with that is that it's the type of design that a human couldn't think of. It's a mathematical computer model came up with the design.
Yeah.
Like you could
Like
you can't really intellectually understand what it should look like.
uh-huh.
A computer had to draft the shape
Yeah.
because it was so complicated to make the hydrogen move the way it needed to move.
For those who haven't seen it, it's well, it's shaped like a Mobius strip.
Yeah, but it's like it
And-
looks like a mess of spaghetti.
Yeah.
You'd never be able to
It's got
understand.
a coil all along the inside.
If you look at it, you'd never
And the
understand what you're
coil-
looking at.
The
Right.
coil on the inside has its own sort of bent shape to it.
Yeah,
Like it's all really deliberate. And the
all-
outside is covered with attachments, like
it's
on
kind
every
of like
square
they
foot.
had an equation for exactly what the hydrogen needed to do, and then they just had a 3D modeling program just model the equation.
And that's what they need to do to
Oh,
get
man.
hydrogen to work.
It's really weird, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, hydrogen fusion. That's the way of the future there. No, it's
Probably.
screw all that green shit. None of that works. All the strange biomass does not work.
Oh yeah.
Does not actually make money. For something to actually work, a green energy initiative to work, it has to make money. And
Yeah.
so far, the only one that's going to make money is hydrogen fusion.
Well, there's like environmental stuff like wind and
Yeah, but
tidal, which
has to be backed up by a normal power plant
yeah,
for base load.
yeah,
Because it'll never wind power and solar power will never get to base load. Right? It'll only supplement the power plant you already have.
yeah.
So to me, that's not green.
It's a hybrid sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a combined cycle.
It saves a bit of like.
I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't spend the R&D money to do that in project if I knew it wasn't gonna actually it's like.
It's expensive too.
It's like before you had a power plant in one side, a power plant. It's not green, but it's making money. And then the second frame, you have the power plant with a bird chopper beside it.
Yeah.
A windmill. Because it's not actually really making that much power, but it's killing birds. Well, I don't know if it's just a joke. Calling it a bird chopper, I don't know.
Yeah.
How bad that actually is for birds. I mean, I certainly don't give a crap. But I can't imagine it's it's like most of the countries that have a lot of wind power, like I think it was Germany. I think they were bragging that they had like the world's most green energy, and then it turned out they have the most normal energy too.
Yeah.
They couldn't just have the new green one. They also have the most coal or something. Like they couldn't. You can't actually have just one. Like, it doesn't work. Like, it's not powerful enough yet.
Yeah. But it's
if you had a solar panel in space, you could use solar panel power because down here on Earth you only get like 1% of the sun's power or something. In space you get a whole shitload more. Shitload more. Right? But that's hard to do.
I noticed when I saw that
that's perfectly clean hydrogen fusion.
Yeah, but like just what was I gonna say? Good God!
How to fit one on a spaceship?
No. That was kind of, you know how predictions of the future kind of like nail it in an unexpected way.
Yeah.
I think that's an example of that because when you like back in the early 2000s, there was like futuristic Giger-esque things that had designs like that. Just because, like,
yeah, that's right. It does look like a
just because it looks alien.
It looks like a Giger hole.
But the truth is, it looks that way because it's designed by a computer.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you look at the, it's funny that no one could have, even just a few years before the Apollo program, right? Mm-hmm. No one could have imagined what the Apollo spacecraft would look like. And indeed, today people doubt it because it does not look like a spaceship. The lunar excursion module just looks like some strangely proportioned bug.
Yeah.
And people doubt it, right? They think, oh, that can't land on the moon.
Yeah.
Of course it can, but just no one can guess what these things look like. And it's like, speaking of that, I think I probably linked it to you. Elon Musk from SpaceX. Mm-hmm. See where they're planning on unveiling their Mars mission thing, architecture, like in September or something like that. Yeah. And he said he didn't want to reveal it now. He's so excited, but he says it's like nothing you've ever seen before. And I was like, well, I can't imagine it now because I've imagined probably every possible Mars mission and the way it could look, and physics will only let it happen so many ways. So if I'm going to be surprised by this, it's going to be amazing.
Q, stop.
What were you going to say?
I wasn't going to say anything. Was I?
I thought you were.
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah.
I'm trying to focus on the game a little bit here.
Yeah, just look up that, if you're listening, the hydrogen fusion reactor thing. It's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. You should be able to get it just by typing in fusion reactor, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's the only fusion reactor that exists.
Yeah, it's the only one that has gone past the point of doing something useful. Providing useful energy. Like, it provides enough power that it actually is doing something.
Yeah.
As opposed to being like a proof of concept, which I'm sure probably existed at some point. this thing actually works, whatever this is.
Shit.
Ideally, if you were going to put... You think that looks strange now? That thing? Imagine that thing in 0G. What your kind of fusion reactor, your spaceship would look like.
Yeah.
How much weirder that would be. It's just a ball of spaghetti. And then that ties back into the limit of human comprehension. Is it possible that if you put that in a spaceship, how... Is it even possible to train a crew to maintain it?
Yeah.
Would it take their whole life to learn how to use it? Do you need to have a person...
That's what I was just thinking, like...
Does your engineer need to be genetically modified to understand how to use it?
Yeah. It's like, like, something else I thought when I saw it is that, I studied boiler designs before.
Yeah.
And it seems hard enough just to make a tank that doesn't burst open.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, imagine how hard it would be to, determine if there's something wrong with that thing.
Only a computer could figure it out. But I mean, if you're up in space and something's going wrong and the software isn't helping you, what happens?
Yeah.
What do you do? There's something wrong with my
There's
hydrogen...
so much shit on that thing, apparently. It's just...
My hydrogen fusion reactor is, like, messing up. I don't know what to do. Oh my god. That'd be so bad. The software isn't fixing it.
My computer took 2 months of processing to develop this thing. Just to come up with a shape. How am I supposed to fix it?
I don't know.
I got my toolbox here. I don't know what to do.
You got to be modified too. And then maybe in the future, maybe in the near future, spacecraft crew will have to be genetically modified from birth.
Oh, yeah.
To understand what to do. Because maybe no human could learn it in enough time for them to be trained up enough to go. Before they're 70 years old. To actually have a working understanding of it. Well, I mean, you probably need to have an IQ of 200 to actually, use it. And not know how to fix it. I don't know. Ugh. Doesn't look user-friendly. Now, if you could have that hydrogen fusion reactor with a... you take the hydrogen fusion reactor, you put a hydrogen extraction manifold on the outside that will extract hydrogen from the interstices of space, like the interstellar medium, because there's hydrogen in that, so it powers itself off space, and have it power a magnetospheric generator. So basically a gigantic copper magnet on the inside thing with coils around it like poles, so that it spins up and creates a magnetic field. And then put the ship inside that magnetic field, and then also have wires coming off from the hydrogen fusion reactor to power the ship. You'd be good to go. And if you had that hydrogen fusion reactor,
oh man,
the hydrogen fusion reactor powering your EM drive. That'd be something. That EM drive thing, that looks real too. Do you see that most recent document on that I showed you?
Oh yeah.
The EM drive, remember that?
Yeah.
The electromagnetic drive. It has no propellant.
Yeah. It appears more genuine as time goes on.
I don't know. They keep testing it and finding out that this thing works. But according to Newton, I think it's Newton's third law of motion. In order to get ahead, you need to leave something behind. And in a spaceship, that stuff you leave behind in the spaceship is called propellant. But the electromagnetic, the EM drive, they call it, its only exhaust is light, right? So, given that, for that not to break Newton's third law of motion, the light coming out has to have mass.
Yeah.
So there's a further confirming that light has to be a wave particle. So a proton obviously has mass, but so I don't think it's entirely against Newton's third law of motion. But the downside of the EM drive would be that you have to power it, right? It takes electricity. It's basically like a flashlight. So you would have to tie the hydrogen fusion reactor to the EM drive. And then the EM drive would have to be powerful enough to push the hydrogen fusion reactor.
Yeah.
So it would need to have exactly enough thrust to move it, and then exactly one more unit of thrust to make it accelerate where it needs to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how if you're working against friction on the ground, you need to provide the exact amount of counterforce to the friction just to start it moving.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hardest, to start something moving.
Yeah.
And then one more unit of force after that and it's actually moving. So you actually need all that to work in concert. And you need to move your hydrogen, which thankfully is very light. Extremely light.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge benefit to the hydrogen fusion reactor and space travel that will employ it, is that the fuel for the reactor is really light. And you could potentially get it in space, which is amazing. I was gonna say fissile material. I don't know, is that a word? Like if something is fissile, like uranium,
Yeah.
you call it fissile. But,
I think I heard the word fusile before.
yeah, maybe. I don't, it must be
Fissile
fissile. If fission is fissile,
Yeah.
and hydrogen being the fissile material in question, just like the sun. Just like the sun.